In this video, we're going to show you the new dispatch scheduling capabilities found within CareLink Mobile Practice Manager. Dispatch scheduling can be used to schedule same-day appointments and urgent visit appointments where the patient needs to be seen either as soon as possible or within the same day. To use these new features, what you want to do is look under Configuration, go under your system settings, and make sure that the dispatch module is active in your system. Once the dispatch module is active, then we can go ahead and set up our dispatch queues and assign our providers to these queues. We can do that under configuration. So the first thing that we want to do is select which provider types we are allowed to add to dispatch queues. To do this, I can go under my system users and I can go under edit types, look at my provider types, and under my provider types, I can choose which provider types are available for dispatch scheduling. So you'll see a new checkbox item here that says enable for dispatch. So we have a new provider type called emergency tech. I'm going to go ahead and enable that provider type for dispatch. And then if I need to, I can update my provider types. Now these provider types are available to be assigned to our dispatch queues. The next thing that we'll want to do is actually set up our dispatch queues. We can do that under Configuration, Manage Dispatch Queues. You can set up one queue or multiple queues based on your business needs. One reason you may set up multiple queues is, say you have a geographic area that you want to cover. So you may set up one queue for your east side patients, one queue for your central patients, and then one other queue for your west side patients. And you can assign one or more of our providers to these dispatch queues. So you can see here we have a central queue and we have 2 dispatch providers assigned. You can also see that providers can be assigned to multiple queues. So say for example, you have one provider that's going to cover your east side and also cover your central. You can assign that dispatch provider to both of those queues. If you need to edit the queue, I can go ahead and click on edit. I can choose to make the queue inactive. I can also choose to assign a color for each of the patients that are within these dispatch queues. So once you have your queue set up, you can go ahead and add patients to these queues. You can do that by going under this new menu item, Dispatch, Add Patient to Queue, and here you can go ahead and select a patient from the drop-down list. Once you select a patient, it will show you on the map where this patient is in relation to any other patient that you have on your dispatch queues. I can also, from the patient record, I can see that there is a new patient action called dispatch. If I go ahead and click on dispatch, you'll see it takes me back to my add patient to my dispatch queue. This patient is selected. What I can do also is select a visit type. I can select the specific queue that I'm interested in. So this patient looks to me like they're on the east side. I'm going to go ahead and add them to my east side queue. You can put in an appointment duration. Could be your expected amount of time you're going to spend with that patient. Could be 1 hour. You can also select an urgency for this patient, high, medium, or low. You can also put in any dispatch note. This could be anything relating to the patient's medical condition or scheduling concerns. So I can say patient wishes to be seen as soon as possible. I can also choose to notify the patient, and then I can go ahead and add the patient to the queue. So once I've added the patient to the queue, you'll see that it takes me to viewing the queues. So this is a snapshot of my Eastside dispatch queue. I can also get here by going under dispatch, dispatch queues, and selecting my Eastside queue. Once I'm in here, I can toggle between each of my queues. When I'm looking at the dispatch queue, I can see the assigned dispatch providers to those queues. I can see where they are on a map. I can also see any patients that are scheduled for that provider. I can also see that provider's complete remaining schedule for the rest of the day. So if I want to add a patient from the queue and turn it into a scheduled appointment on my provider's schedule, I can do that by clicking on the patient. So here's the patient. I can go ahead and select the patient. You'll see that it is selected here. And I can go ahead and add that patient to my provider's schedule. So this patient wants to be seen as soon as possible. So I may go ahead and select the time of day. From the drop down, it will show me all of the available times between now and the end of the day. I'm going to go ahead and select 5:30. If I want to, I can notify the provider. This will tell them that they have a new patient assigned to their schedule. I can also notify the patient. This will tell them that they have a new appointment with a new provider and appointment time. If I'm looking at adding multiple patients to my provider's schedule, I have a couple of different scheduling options. So say, for example, I want to add both of these patients to my schedule for today. I can add them using the closest patient first. I can add them using the longest wait time first. Or what I can do is I can optimize my provider's remaining schedule by selecting optimize remaining patients. What this will do is it will chart a course from your provider's current location to see those dispatch patients and return to home. What I'm going to go to do here is just say add the closest first, and I'm going to go ahead and add them at 5:30 p.m. What this will do is it will add these two patients to my schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and click add selected patients to schedule. And now you'll see that these two patients have now been added to my schedule for that provider. And we have cleared out the queue for any of our Eastside dispatch patients. If you select a different queue, you can also toggle between all of these selected providers that are assigned to that dispatch queue. You'll also see when you go under configuration and go under our SMS message templates, there are two new text messages that we've added. One is a message that we can send when a patient is added to the dispatch queue. This one may say, thank you for choosing our company. We're looking for the closest provider in your area, and we will text you once a provider and appointment time has been set. Then we can also send another updated message when the patient has actually been scheduled from the dispatch queue. And we can say your provider is on the way, a new appointment has been scheduled for you. We can include the provider's name if we want. We will see you soon. All of our SMS messages are customizable. You can click on the edit and change the message to as you see fit.